Hello, welcome to the Insights channel. Today in our series Encontros, we have a very special guest, Anna Doiliani. She's born and educated in Greece. Anna holds a BA in philosophy from the University of Athens and is a teacher of Greek literature and philosophy. Anna is currently the coordinator of the Meditation Center in Lebanon, while she also serves in Greece and travels the world, sharing her innate passion exploring in depth human consciousness and serving the world by helping in bringing out high-quoted texts, the best in others. Anna has been in Brazil for several times. Maybe some of you might even know her or have met her. She has a special passion for her own spiritual practice. And so we are going to speak about a very interesting topic, which is being natural. So Anna, first of all, most welcome to the Insights channel. It's a pleasure to have you here with us today. And to start our conversation, I would like to ask you a very straight question. What is it to be spiritual for you in your perception? Because you have been practicing meditation for many, many years. And we know that the world nowadays is passing through very challenging situations. Somehow, people cannot find proper tools to deal with the complexity of nowadays challenges. And some of them think that maybe spirituality can hold some answers to this big quest of human beings nowadays, in terms of how to be happy, how to have a fulfilling life. So do you think that spirituality is connected with this? What it is to have a spiritual life?
Good morning from Greece, warm, hot Greece, and really many heartfelt thanks for inviting me to be with all of you. I have shared it already quite a few times when I was in Brazil, but I will do it again now from my heart. I shared and I'm sharing how much I enjoy being with Brazilians, brothers and sisters, because there is something so original and so warm and so loving and so welcoming. So thank you very much for having me with you. And also thank you, Patricia, because this gives me the opportunity to share things that become like a mirror, because whatever you share, you check how much you are apt to what you're sharing and how much more one can achieve. So spirituality, what does it mean to be spiritual? And how does it help, if I can paraphrase your question, how does it help to cope with all these accelerating, stressful situations? Yes, this word spiritual is one of these words that has been used a lot and perhaps associated in different ways according to everyone's understanding, experiences. The first thing that comes to the mind, thinking of spiritual and spirituality, is truth. To be yourself, to be clear about who you are, and to experience it in a natural way. This is to be spiritual. It's not something for some people or something extra that one can add to who they are. It's not an achievement to be spiritual. It is who you are. To live a spiritual life at this point of life, because there has been fog in our understanding, in our recognition, in our discrimination. So to live a spiritual life, I would say, means to live a life that helps you sustain this clarity of who you are. First of all, to create it again, but then to sustain it in everyday life. So it's not, to be spiritual is not about being something that you are not, or that it is for some, or that you were and now you are. Spiritual means the true I. And the true I is by nature the most positive, um, uh, definition one can find. So the self is not a definition, but if we would like to define the self, I think the most positive adjectives should be used, because there is nothing more positive than the true self. So when you know yourself and when you experience yourself, it's not about just knowing in the sense when you just experience your existence, who you are. And who you are is something constant, second to second. It's not that one moment you are this, the next moment you are something else. So when you can hold this clarity about who you are constantly positive. And then, of course, there is no better way of dealing with things than a positive perspective. And positive, not just positive thinking, like a technical thing, a mechanical thing, but clarity helps you to see that everything is positive, actually. Not only you are the source of positive qualities, but the whole play of life, the whole game of life, with ups and downs, and sometimes it feels like a roller coaster. But even this serves a purpose, which is at the end positive.
Mhm. You speak about being yourself, kind of connecting yourself. And nowadays there is also this kind of this search for attainment. It looks like people are always trying to achieve something, to attain something, as if attainment or achievement would bring happiness, which at the end of the line is the aim of everybody, to be happy. And from what you say, it's not really a matter of achieving or attaining, but it's just a matter of being. And I think there is also a kind of misunderstanding between knowing and being and feeling and practicing. Could you clarify a little bit more about this? Is it a journey of achievement and attainment? And how can we bridge knowledge with the practice, with the real being?
If we want to use this word achievement, if there is an achievement as such, then this is connected again with this capability that we all have. It is part of our nature. This capability of seeing clearly what is what. So at this point, when our capability to recognize, to discriminate is compromised. So yes, because of the compromise due to different reasons, we can bring in the picture this aspect of achievement. So when we achieve clarity, then we see that every human being on this planet is like a seed that is perfect and complete. So what can be added to a seed? What can a seed achieve? Is already full. So what then is the next step, and what is the natural thing, is for the seed to be in the right conditions to express itself. And this is not an achievement, this is something natural. So at this point of life, at this point of time, where globally our capability of discriminating is compromised, yes, it is an achievement. First of all, to realize, as Socrates said, that we don't know that we don't know. So we have to realize this, that we don't know that we don't know. Then to start searching for knowledge that will help me to understand what has gone wrong. And then I will find out that what has gone wrong is that basically I created some kind of fog within me, confusion, where I started letting go of the experience of who I am. And who I am is perfection. And when you start going into lower levels of experience of your potential, then something is missing and you start searching. And then when you start searching for something, you have already put yourself into this position that something is missing, something is lacking, and there is achievement. And where is the achievement? Because we forgot who we are. Of course, we project all the achievements on this physical world out there, and we think that whatever achievements all people are trying for are the true achievements of life. No. So there are no achievements out there. And in a way, we don't really need to achieve anything else except some basic understanding, some clarity. And this understanding will help us to transcend this illusion that something is lacking. So there will not be margins for false achievements anymore. And this is such a different way of thinking than what we're used to, because we're used to thinking that something is missing, something is lacking. So even this moment is not enough, as if I need to do something next moment, or to wait for something, or something to happen, something, whatever it is, in order for me to feel good. And we never feel good, because then the habit of thinking that the next moment or another person or some other scene in the drama or something different than what's happening now will make me feel better, that I'm going to achieve something more than what I'm experiencing now. So it is really like a vicious circle within us. But we don't need to go into complicated analysis, just to understand some basic things. And more than anything else, to realize that finally, we don't know that we know. In the beginning, we don't know that we don't know. We think that we know everything, that everything's fine, that, or even if we see that things are not fine, somehow we think that we know. So we don't know that we don't know. We don't realize that, first of all, we don't know who we are. And if someone asks us who you are, at that moment, we may realize that we don't know who we are, but we live our life as if we know who we are. So we don't know that we don't know. Then we know, we understand that we don't know. For the ones who want to bring some clarity in their life, they start realizing that, yes, I understand now that I don't know. Then the next step is that I don't know that I know, because the self is the seed and everything is within us. So in the spiritual journey, when we realize that we don't know and we start searching, again, we have to come back to the understanding that we know. We have to understand, to know that we know, which means we shouldn't always look out there for more information or even to create more and more journeyings and thinking and trying to find something. We have to trust the inner silence, that the self is already the seed of all experience, of all knowing.
You know, we are speaking about being natural. That's the topic of our conversation. And somehow, from what you are saying, it looks like we are kind of upside down in our awareness, in our understanding. But it became a habit to search for something from outside to kind of achieve something which is going to give us this feeling of fulfillment. So it really, like nowadays, the natural looks like to expect from outside. And then when you speak about connecting with ourselves and kind of removing this fog, it doesn't look like something natural because we forget. You know, even if we know and if we understand and if we agree with you in your way of thinking, still what comes as natural is to consider ourselves empty and to look for some kind of fulfillment from outside. So how do you make this awareness something natural so that you can really live a life in which you have this clarity? Because it seems to me that it's not so natural to consider yourself to be fulfilled already, to be whatever you want to be. You already are what you want to be. And the habit is to try to achieve from outside all the time. So how to make this shift in our awareness in a natural way?
Let me start with the last natural way, to make everything in a natural way. And I would add natural and fun. So we should emerge this energy of fun, because it is true that for whatever humans aim for, whatever they try, small or bigger things, even holidays, there is a habit of worrying and make things heavy, because the world is like this now, and things change so rapidly, and everything is so unexpected, and it can go in such a different way that people feel insecure. So this insecurity creates heaviness, creates a rigidity. So we stopped enjoying because there is fear and other factors as well. So whatever we do, yes, let us remind ourselves, let us emerge from within this attitude of fun. And like in a game, when you play a game, victory or defeat doesn't matter, because you know it's a game. And this, of course, again goes back to realizing who I am. So the more I practice, and this connected with the rest of the question, the more I practice what I know, playing with it in a fun way, like a hobby, the more I see it more clearly, to the extent that I really feel it so clearly that I cannot forget it so easily. The deeper the experience, the more difficult to let go of it. Like with a negative experience or emotion, when something happens during the day that hits really, like creates a strong emotion, you cannot let go of it. You go back to it again and again. The same thing. When we make sure that we clearly experience the self by practicing with certain exercises to start with, you need to practice. Then, because you feel it in a very deep way that touches your heart, then it pulls you. It comes to you itself. But before you reach that stage, yes, because we are in a compromised stage, I would say in a diseased stage, Our intellect is in a disease stage. We need to help it by doing certain practices until it becomes, again, totally natural to see clearly and to experience clearly who we are.
You
So
know,
it is, please.
no, go ahead.
It's just the power. I have come, like, if I would like to share my, I would say that my latest insights, which are the refined insights, the most refined, and they are getting more and more, hopefully. There's more to see. So I would say that I feel as if there are two people within me. One is someone who is silent and in a way he's nothing like what this physical body is. So it is as if there are two within. One is the one we know, the one who talks like, in my case, like Anna, and it is the form of this body, it is the age, it is the nationality, all of this. So it is as if there is, in my mind, a small person that has this image and all these characteristics and all these roles. And this one has a certain personality. And then there is the other one who is silent and is beyond all of the characteristics of Anna. So the whole thing is where I give my attention to. And I realize more and more how powerful this saying, like where attention goes, energy flows, life grows, how true it is. Because our attention is like oxygen. It gives life. It is like light. It shines light. Wherever you give your attention, this becomes real for you. Now we gave our attention, all of us, for all this time, and others did this for us. Their attention for us and ourselves for us was on this body, thinking that we are this role. And so this has become so real for us. But there is this other being, this other personality. In fact, this is who we truly are. We are like this actor, this silent being, silent presence that has within him recorded the role of Anna. So imagine there is an actor and he's who he is in his life, and then he has learned by heart a role. And this is recorded. He has learned it. It's in his memory. It's within him. And then he has the costume also to play this role. So this is exactly what has happened with us. We are this actor that is eternal actor, does not have beginning, does not have an end. And there is a role. There are roles recorded within this actor. So when we lost the clarity, we started thinking that this role recorded within us is the I. We started putting the label I to the role. So the role is happening because there is the actor. The actor is before, prior to the role. And everything appears in front of the actor, like an actor knows himself before he comes to the stage. So he has a reality before he comes to the stage. He knows his role as a part of his, life. And this is not the real himself, not the real being. And yes, there is the body. So all of this appear in front of the actor. The habit now within us is to identify again and again with the role that we play. We are not here to stop the role, or we are here to enjoy our role, to enjoy the self through the role, actually. But we forgot the self, and instead of enjoying the qualities of the self, we have given life to this character. And we think that our personality is the feelings based on the character. So it's very simple, really, not to give life to the stories of the mind that thinks like the role. And the stories are endless, and all of them can feel real, and I can feel that I am all these stories and the feelings that come with them, when I forget that I am the one that in a way is creating these stories. Because who is the source of the thoughts? Who is the source of the memory? Who learned the role? There is someone who is before all of this and who is aware of all of this. So I am this one. I am the one who knows all these things, like all these faculties, all the role, who is aware of the role. So there is someone who says, I forgot, I remembered, I feel like this. This feeling comes, this feeling goes. There is someone who is beyond all of this, who can observe all of this. So we are the observer, not what is observed, what can be observed. We are not what comes and goes. So the problem is, coming back to your question, that the habit of putting the label I to all of these things that appear and disappear, they all can die a natural death, meaning I don't even have to try and send anything away. The only thing that we need to do is not to touch this mind that thinks like a role, meaning not to believe that I am these thoughts. I am the one who is aware of all of this. So if I start practicing giving my attention to the one who is aware of all of this, to this silent presence, I will be discovering such beautiful qualities within this presence, because this presence has his own personality, different than the personality of the role. So when I start experiencing again my true self, my true nature, this will start pulling me. And the more I practice and the deeper I go, then I will start spending more time with my timeless self, because the self really is timeless, in a sense that time and space and this happened and this change and movements and sounds, all of these are at this physical world. Beyond this physical world, there is this dimension of silence, and this is where the self belongs, and where, when I just become aware of this truth that has never changed, it's a matter of, as we said in the beginning, of clarity. When I become aware that I am this, I have always been this, I have never been my person, ego thinking mind. So when I just realize it, then I don't need to do anything, just to have a little bit of caution, not to think that I am this mind that thinks like a role. It doesn't mean that my mind will not think. Of course it will think. This is the reason why it exists. But someone within will be aware of even the thoughts, aware and in a way master of everything in a natural way.
It's very interesting, and it's very subtle. No, just kind of listening to what you are saying already creates this feeling of subtlety inside. But the matter of fact is that we live in a world which is very intense, and there are so many challenges that come from the world outside. Even if you think about the wars which are happening, you are very much connected with Lebanon. And I'm sure that people living in Lebanon at this moment might be in fear or feelings of insecurity in terms of what's going on, what's going to happen in the near future. At the same time, we see that all this destruction of the environment, which also creates so many kind of feelings of insecurity. And I think that sometimes what comes in between this practice is exactly all this interference of what is going on in the world outside. So what is the method that you yourself use to neutralize all of this influence from the world outside? Is there any context that we have to bring into the picture so that the situations become smaller and interfere less in our awareness, and we are really able to keep this subtlety in our awareness?
It is absolutely true that we are in this world, we live in this world, and you described it very eloquently, what's going on. And you mentioned that there are situations, and perhaps more and more for all of us, challenging, let's use this word, or distressing or difficult situation. I would like for all of us right now to really honestly see, to check. When we say that a situation is difficult, what is the difficulty really? Basically, we're describing difficult feelings, feelings that are not pleasant, and perhaps very, very, very unpleasant. And unpleasant feelings are the ones that are not our nature. What is natural can never feel uncomfortable. So the more I have used these feelings that are not my true nature, the deeper, the stronger they have become, and the more uncomfortable they become. So why we created these feelings, and they exist now, and they emerge because of different situations, this is another story. Why? And it's a long story, maybe not so long, but I'm not sure if it's for today. But when something happens, basically what we are doing when a person behaves in a certain way, when an earthquake happens, when whatever, so many things happen. Basically, what happens is that all these feelings that are within me are triggered and projected on that situation. Of course, now someone may say, but if an earthquake happens and I lose my house, and I lose my father, my child, I would like to speak about techniques because I would find it a little bit superficial. I would say it's a matter of understanding, going back to some basic questions that we have put under the carpet for different reasons, that are so basic that we can't continue living without having an answer to them. For example, when we all know that there is a beginning and there is an end to our presence here on this planet, how can I ever feel secure, and how can I ever feel really good when I know that at some point I'm going to leave this planet, when I don't know where I'm going, when I don't know where I was before? And why are we so surprised, and why we're reacting so dramatically? Why we react so dramatically with extreme sorrow to something That is the law of the universe. We all know that we are going to leave this body. Why don't we accept it? So it's not a matter whether someone will leave their body, will die, if we want to use this expression, unexpectedly, or in certain situations, under earthquake or fire, or because death comes unexpectedly, and this is the law as well. But it's not about that. It's about the fact that we live in ignorance, and sooner or later, no matter how much we postpone this problem of not knowing, because it is a problem not to know so basic things. So we delay facing the real thing. Life is bringing us with this problem of ignorance. We have to face it. And this comes with the situations like, for example, an unexpected death or a sickness or loss of my property or being totally poor. So if I knew basic things in my life, the way I would react to all of this would have been different. So again, we come back to the same thing, that we don't know. We are not aware of basic things. If I don't know of who I am, how can I live a successful life? How can I know that the choices that I'm doing are the right ones? Since I don't know who am I and what is the purpose of my life, what I'm choosing and what I consider achievement or whatever. Maybe it's all wrong since I don't know me, myself, and I don't know the aim. So I don't think it's a matter of the difficult situations and the critical times we are in, but again, it's a matter of not knowing for a long time these basic things. And life now brings situations that perhaps will make many of us realize that the problem is not the situations. The problem is that we don't know these basic answers. And also the ignorance of our true self and of our original goodness is the one that has created also these, in a way, not normal things. So even the situations that become the mirror are the result of our own lack of experience of our own goodness, and has resulted to all of these catastrophes. But they become the mirror for us to go back to where we have to be, which is a very, very beautiful place to live the true self.
We are almost coming to the end of our conversation, and before we finish, I would like to invite you to lead us in an experience. But one question which I would like to do is about God and the role of God in all of this that we are speaking about. Some people are so disappointed with God that they don't believe in God anymore. Some others, they really expect that God is going to do something and it's going to solve situations and that everything is in the hands of God in terms of our future. And for others, I think that God is just a point of reference in terms of what we can be and, I mean, where we can reach. So how do you put God in all of this? What's the role of God? Who is God for you? What is your relationship with Him in the middle of all of this present situation? Or even better, how to make the relationship with God something natural?
Two words that you used, one God and the other belief. I don't think God is someone to believe in, but someone to experience and to live with. Because to believe means really that I'm not sure. So, and when you are not sure about something or about someone, you can change your mind about who they are and what they should do, and you can create so many stories about them. just because you don't know them really. You're not sure about them. But when you're sure about them, then you don't blame them because something happened to you. When you have experience from them, their personality, imagine you have a friend and you have experience their goodness, their love, their cooperation, their wisdom, their perfection. Imagine you have experienced the perfection of someone. If another person comes and says something, or if something goes wrong in your life, will you easily start blaming them or expecting them to do something that you were supposed to do? Because this is another thing. We tend to put responsibilities on anyone except ourselves. So we include God. We make God responsible for whatever happens to us. So it's a matter of experiencing God. And this word God, at least in my case, and perhaps for many others, is connected with something more institutional, religious, someone very high up there, distant. So the way I feel this being, and actually I was lucky enough at some point in my early life to have an experience of him without looking for him, actually. So the experience of him is like an eternal point of reference, like someone who never ever changes to who he is. And it happens so that he is perfect. He is the seed of everything that our heart is looking for. He is the seed of it. And actually, we are looking for things that we already have. So, and we are like him. And we are able to recognize him when we start recognizing ourselves first. So I wouldn't bring God in the picture, or I wouldn't have many hopes to really experience God unless I start with myself. And yes, for me, God is the benevolent one, the perfect one. And he's someone, he's not an abstract idea. He's someone, but he's invisible. And by the way, just to say that, yes, right now on Zoom, there are these images like the icons of Patricia and Anna. But really, is this who we are? We are also invisible as our thoughts and feelings. Because thought, feelings, everything that is important is invisible. And the source, which is the I, is also invisible. So if I want to really know, experience with certainty God, I have to start becoming aware of the invisible, subtle reality where what is really real belongs there. So one can say so many things, but God, the one who is perfect, the one who does not change, the one who is benevolent, the one who has his vision always on me, the one who can remind me and give back to me the most beautiful things that I've been looking for.
Very
And
inspiring.
yes,
So, and I would like to invite you to guide us in a practice of self-awareness so that we can finish our conversation with an experience.
so we all have this most intimate power of attention. This is the most intimate power of the self, the power of attention, very close to the self. We all know that wherever our attention goes, this object of our attention becomes our world. as long as our attention is on something, this becomes, in a way, our world. There are so many other things, but it is as if they don't exist for us. And we realize, as we sit in silence, that each one of us is lost in details. Our attention is trapped in so many details. Details of what? Of this physical world, of whatever our senses can grasp. And we have lost sight of the bigger picture. We are experiencing so many details of this physical world because our attention goes there. And yes, we are here to experience this physical world. But we now realize that there is the experiencer. If there is a pillow, if there is the sun, if there is the tree, this is the object that I experience just by giving my attention to it. But there is someone who says, I experienced this. I experienced this feeling. So who is this I, the experiencer? And we experiment very gently, in a very light way, with first creating an image of someone who is like, let's say, a star, instead of human forms that our minds are full of. Now we replace these physical images with a star. But this star is living, is aware of his existence. And yes, this physical world goes on. So many things happen second to second. But we decide for this time together to make everything in that world very small and distant, as if it does not exist. So many things are going on, but we make them smaller and smaller, as if they're all in a dot, as if nothing is there, as if. And beyond that, dot, there is an expanse of light and silence. This world of silence has always been here. It's not that we create it now, just that we give it our attention and we see it. Instead of seeing only physical objects, we now see something that is subtler, silent, invisible to the eyes, beyond the senses. But it does exist forever, whether we see it, whether we experience it or not. Here there is perfect stillness, such sweet silence. Here there are star-like beings, subtle beings. We can say subtle people, light, not of matter. These beings experience feelings of perfection, experience fullness, contentment, perfect security. Immortality for them is normal. Eternity is natural. Subtle happiness, natural. They don't know gaps of their reality. This is the reality. Happiness, contentment, security, love. All is natural and constant. Here there are billions of stars like this, beings like this. They're all perfect. They're all actors. And there is one soul. It is the director, the supreme soul. People have given names, God, Ishvara, Allah. But beyond that physical world of names and forms, there is this one soul that is clearly experienced. It's the ocean of wisdom, ocean of love, comforter of hearts. He is the parent of all the actors. He's of the same family, but he never enters that physical world down below. We are these beings of light. We are the actors. And as we continue with using our bodies, the costumes, the only thing that we need to do is not to think that we are temporary body, the temporary scenes, that they just appear and disappear in front of these silent beings. We're not obliged to. We choose not to enjoy both worlds for what they are. The physical world is an entertainment. Beyond the entertainment, there is the real life, the real people. There is perfection. And it belongs to everyone. This is a message for everyone to hear. And this is the time for it. Thank you.
Thank you, Anna. It's amazing the feelings of fulfillment and sweetness and peace and empowerment. So many, many thanks for all this clarity and this experience. For those who want to connect with Anna, know more about what she has been doing, we are going to put in the description of the video some links where you can connect. And I also would like to thank each one of you and invite you to subscribe in our channel and also to share the link with other people who are also in this search for truth. So many, many thanks.
Thank you so much, Lily. Thank you.